But wait, there's more. I'm trying to copy the Okay, so aside from the evaluation of our table topic session, our prepared speeches, we also have our technical evaluators. So let's kick off with our first evaluator to give us, to tell us how we did with our grammar this afternoon. So let's call on for the grammarians report, Toastmaster Pam Patacsil. Toastmaster Pam.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, it is a pleasure to listen to all the speeches. I was also inspired by all the speeches that I've listened to. Now, with the report that I have, I find a few excellent use of the English language. Let's start with that of from good quotes, leadership quotes from BP Force. The first one is, in order to lead others, you must lead yourself. And another one is, great leaders are the most authentic. It resonates, especially for me, now that leadership has become a national issue, further highlighted in our country this pandemic period. Aside from that, I find some good quotes also from DTM Ed's speech, which is first from Henry David Thoreau. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them. And leave your message in the heart of others. Also, be the change that the world needs. This is also in partnership with that of BP Force, which will inspire both old and new Toastmasters to be the change that others need, especially at this period. Meanwhile, I would like to point out some of the words and sentences that can be improved. I just noticed that most, especially during the impromptu speeches, are using incomplete sentences, starting with so you need to keep an open mind. So when you look at the riddle again, a lot of us did that. So we go now to the evaluation. So for in the speeches and the introduction of speakers as well as in the evaluation, I think this is usual, especially for speaking in front, where especially for the non-prepared speeches, but it would take a while for us to practice. Maybe we can be more conscious of stepping back a little and thinking it through for the next sentence. So we won't have to use that incomplete sentences, or in some way when we keep on using so, although it's also natural nowadays to use the conjunction as the beginning of the sentence, but when you continue using it, it becomes sort of like a filler word. On a positive note, I am happy to see that fellow members are able to use the word of the day. That is A.D. Ching and BP Loy. So, big round of applause for them. That is all for my report. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pam. Now let's move on to, I believe Toastmaster Pam mentioned it a while ago. So let's go to the ones that audit our crutch phrases. So let's go to our account report. I'd like to call on Toastmaster Erika Doblon. TM Erika, hello.
Hi everyone, I hope that all of you are happy. Good afternoon, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. For the benefit of our guests, the purpose of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I listened for overused words including and, well, but, so, and you know. We also listened for the filler sounds including and I also noted when a speaker repeats a word or phrase. Now I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. For President Patricia Maliksi, and you see I made You used sound filler once, sound word so 3 times. You made twice repetitions, and at the end of your speech, there were a couple of stutters. Moving on to Lois Ibanez, you used sound filler and You used 3 times, twice. Filler word so twice. And moving on to Porsche Maliksi, you used sound filler once. And then you made 3 repetitions for the entire speech. And then also you made a couple of stutters at the end of your speech. To DTM Ed Ramirez, you made the filler word well once, and then you also made twice repetition for your entire speech. So there's my report, and I would just like to advise everybody, including myself. Most of the time, we find ourselves rattled when speaking, hence we say filler words and sounds. And my advice is to get comfortable with the silence of pause, because number one, it helps us to collect our thoughts. Number two, it calms our nerves. Number three, it builds suspense. And of course, the fourth, it helps engage our audience. It helps us to know if they are still listening and if they are receiving the message that we are trying to imply. Overall, I would like to commend everybody for having such wonderful speeches, and thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to our accounter, Toastmaster Erika. Now let's see how we did with the time. So for the time management report, I'd like to call on Toastmaster Margaret Yung.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I have my timer here and I'll do a report. So for the table topic, for President Toastmaster Pat Maliksi, you have an actual time of 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Then for TM Lois Ramirez, your speech runs in for 8 minutes and 17 seconds. For VP Porsche Maliksi, your actual time is 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Then for TM Ed Ramirez, since this is a mastery, so the time here is 18 minutes and 5 seconds. Then for the, sorry, that's for the prepared speeches. So for the table topics, for TM Jimo, the time here is, for a while, I put it in my phone. For the time, it's 1 minute and 20 seconds. Then for TM Ching, for TM Ching, the timer is 1 minute and 31 seconds. Then for DTM Les Kino, the time, the actual time is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's for my report as a timer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to our timer, Toastmaster Margaret. Now, okay, thank you for being thorough to all of our technical evaluators. So to our grammarian, thank you for catching the gems and the germs, of course, the quotable quotes and the areas that we need to improve in our grammar. For our accounters, so thank you for mentioning to the audience what you were watching out for so that they will have an idea of what we take a look when we are the accounter. And of course, to our timer, so thank you for helping us manage the time of our meeting by taking note of how everybody has made use of the time allotted to them this afternoon. Now, for those who will be taking on the technical evaluator roles in the future, and for the benefit also of our guests this afternoon, of course, for the grammarian, of course, we want to somehow take a look back on the grammar lessons that we have learned so long ago, probably when we were maybe on our elementary days, high school days. So it's very easy for us to forget some of those grammar technicalities, and that is why we have our grammarian to remind us of some slip ups that we may have whenever we deliver our respective speeches. Now, for the account, of course, it's not really easy for us to get away from crutch phrases. From the name itself, crutch, meaning we rely on them whenever we try to deliver our speeches. And maybe you may not be able to get them all out of the system, but by being reminded, as what has been done by our accounter, we are somehow made aware of the things that we might want to improve upon. And of course, for our timer, it is important for us to really time our speech as well. Whenever, not just in Toastmasters, whenever we have meetings at the office, whenever we have maybe meetings with families or our time with our friends, we have to be able to be reminded of the time, the importance of having a proper grasp on the time that we have, and of course on the time of others as well. Also, to our this portion is also a chance to deliver a mini speech. So you may want to craft your technical report into sort of a mini speech. And kudos to Toastmaster Erika for giving us that advice to pause. So it's nice that you had a tidbit of knowledge for us there whenever we are going into our crunch phrases. Okay, now for the evaluation of our meeting, so I think we started about 10 on my clock. So 10 minutes, I think it's still okay. And excellent Zoom handling as well. We had, of course, there are some problems, I guess, with some of our participants' internet connection. So that is quite expected. Now we go to the evaluation of our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ed. So thank you for accepting the role because of we had some urgent change in our program. So it's nice that you were able to give the background of the Toastmaster since we have many guests. So you were able to really give everyone a picture of what Toastmasters is all about. And you painted a really big picture of the global reach of our organization, not just in Las Piñas, not just in Division H, not just in the Philippines, but whole world as well. So I believe that is very important especially for our guests to really get to know what the organization is all about. Also, it's nice that you mentioned the history and the benefits of the Toastmasters as well, so that they will know that, these are the things that they will benefit from joining this organization. And then you brought us home to the club wherein you talked about how the club has developed leaders. I think the best example is last year when we had 3 area directors for from our club. And then you even talked about contest champions. In one of the clubs that I have visited I think last week or last week, they also do this, and then they also have some sort of a visual material showing whom of their clubs has been district leaders and whom of their clubs has been has joined contests. And then it's nice that you also took the audience to the different parts of the meeting as well. And of course, the excellent transition in between parts of the program and in between speeches as well. Now, as a parting message, so allow me to share with you some of the things that I learned in our activity this morning. So this morning I was part of the facilitators of Speech Quest. So it's an initiative of another club in another division, wherein we kind of taught table topics to public school teachers. So again, this has been mentioned by some of the evaluators. So be mindful of our screen space. So this is the space that we have. So let's take advantage of the space that we have. Next is background. So we might try to want to keep our background simple. So it's not cluttered. It's the lighting is not against us. So some of you might want to tone down the lighting or maybe close up a bit on the curtains. Uh, for the screen space, I think I'd like to commend area director Christina for having a good screen space. As she was delivering her evaluation, I can really see her clearly, and she has a wide area to use for her gestures. Now, a little tip for the gestures, since we are on a limited screen only, so you might want to be mindful from elbow to the tip of your finger. So that's one of the tips that I learned in our meeting this morning. So when you do your gestures from the elbow to your fingers, because if you're too close, then your hands might appear just like this, wherein they would look like they are just floating on the screen. So overall, thank you for participating in the first ever Toastmasters meeting for this term. And I now yield the screen back to our Toastmaster of the Day, Division Director, Sir Ed Ramirez. Sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jude. That was a really comprehensive evaluation. So for the benefit of our guests, we do not just deliver speeches, we also evaluate our peers, okay? As they say, um, people learn best in an environment of enjoyment. And we learn with our evaluation, we learn from watching other people speak and modeling ourselves, modeling how we do things by the performance of others. I hope this afternoon has been a very enriching experience for everybody, whether you are an excellent speaker or whether you are a beginner speaker. There's always something new to pick up in meetings like this. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you to Division Director Ed. I really hope that you enjoyed this afternoon's meeting. It's our very first meeting for this term with the club officers. I think it's a testament to how we are really humans. We need this connection even during this pandemic, that we are humans behind the screen. And I wanted to say thank you to our Toastmaster, Division Director Ed, for stepping up because it was a really short notice. So thank you so much. I would like to thank our General Evaluator and our Table Topics evaluator as well, our VP for Education. He's the one in charge of this afternoon's program, and because we have a bit of short, he had a struggle with inviting evaluators from other clubs. He decided to do it on his own, and I'm really thankful for you, VP Jude. And also, I would like to thank our Table Topics Master, who I was really surprised how he really stepped up, and I didn't expect it to be that good and to experience that on our first meeting, TM Russell. It's been a while since you've been back, and I can really see that you've missed us, I hope. And also having so much guests today, one from Mindanao, one from QC, and one from Alabang, one from Las Piñas, all of which are my friends. And I really thank your support that you wanted to see why I am the way I am now. And it's all because of this community. And I wanted to ask a few questions, if that's okay, if you want to turn your video on. I would also like to commend Gmo for, I think it's his second time now, and he was able to volunteer, and that's congratulations, Gmo, and we hope that you'll be a future Toastmaster. So I would like, who would like to share their observation of the meeting? Because this is what we do since we are a fan of evaluations. Maybe we'll start with Gmo since it's his second time. How do you find our meeting today, Gmo?
Yes. Sorry. Hi, hello everyone again. And with this meeting, I was super inspired by the speeches, especially to all the speeches about sorry, leadership. It just gave me more insights, more learnings on how to be a leader, me myself, and I am looking forward to more meetings like this in the future, and that's all.
Thank you, Gmo. I hope you can. I hope you can be a member. Please approach our VP for membership, Miss Christine. We can discuss after this meeting how we can help you with your personal goals. I would like also to ask, if it's okay, Jenna, how did you the meeting this afternoon? Sorry. Okay, no problem. Thank you for chatting it. How about, can we hear it from Neil and Martyr? Neil and Bonnie? Is it okay if I ask you, how did you find the meeting this afternoon? Oh, yeah. Yeah. But can we hear your thoughts? Is your mic on? Neil? It's okay. Maybe you can chat it for us. I know that there has been a bit of struggle with the internet connection lately, but I would like also to hear from our returning old guest. Can you share with us how did you find this afternoon? Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How did you find the meeting this afternoon? Can you share it?
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for inviting us once again. It was a great Toastmaster meeting, and it is so different from the usual. The event was well thought and executed. I love the interaction and engagement with the speaker and the audience. Definitely an enjoyable and insightful afternoon. We will definitely use what we learned from all the speakers. We are inspired and we enjoyed a lot. As a sommelier and wine lover, just like a perfect wine and cheese that we can enjoy every time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, I think that's a mini speech right there. So we hope you can join us soon and be a member if you're open to it. I think that's it for me.
Neil Martyr has chatted. Press pad.
Sorry?
There's a chat on from Neil Martyr.
Okay. Sige. It's really informative, and every bit of pieces of information were really inspiring, and it made me want to join. We love the fact that each people give constructive criticism to be better, and I like to be a better public. That's great to hear. We love that you enjoyed this afternoon's meeting. Please approach me or approach VP for membership, Christina, so that we can talk about how we can help you with your Toastmaster and public speaking growth. And
that's it. I think I would have to discuss with our... Mona, is your microphone okay? Can you share a bit of observation for us? I think it's because of her internet connection. Maybe she can chat it for us. Thank you also to Mona, all the way from Mindanao, joining us this afternoon. And let's give all ourselves a round of applause for participating, for stepping up, and enjoying each other's company. And I don't have an announcement for now. I'll be meeting with the club officers to finalize on the next meeting because we're still planning for that. Overall, thank you all so much for making this an enjoyable afternoon. So I now call this meeting adjourned. Oh, picture. Yeah.
Chat. Group picture.
Okay. Please, if you want to join the photo, just put your screen.
Open.
Let me pull up the screen share. Okay. Everyone, smile. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope to see you on our next meeting. I'll paste the announcements soon.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Nice to see you all.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I had a long Toastmaster day today. I started at 9 in the morning.
Oo nga, di ba? Ang aga mo.
Super.
But it was nice. Actually, they really coordinated that event with the Department of Education in Makati. So